Hi there, Kerry here. Welcome to the channel again. If you're a new viewer, welcome to you. Please subscribe and like if you enjoy this video. If you're a previous viewer, welcome back. It's glad to see you again. So today it is the 19th of June 2022, and here in Christchurch, New Zealand, winter has really started biting, and I won't waste your time anymore. Just today we're looking at Bad Actors by Mick Herron. Now this is, I think, the 8th in the Slough House, Slow Horses, Jackson Lamb, whichever you'd like to call it, series. This was released a couple of months ago now, back in May, and well, actually April, I think. So what's it about? Well, this is a new adventure for the Slough House team of no-hopers and misfits. This time around, a super forecaster from a government think tank has gone missing, and the special advisor to the Prime Minister, a gentleman called Anthony Sparrow, who is a thinly disguised analogue of a person from the real world, who was prominent in UK politics until fairly recently. Anthony Sparrow in the book is trying to gain more control for the Prime Minister and Prime Minister's office, and he wants more control over the secret services. Anyway, he approaches Claude Whelan, former head of MI5, and asks him to look into the whereabouts of this super forecaster called Stephanie de Groot, I believe the name is. And Whelan starts an investigation which leads him back to MI5 and the Regent Park team. And meanwhile, we see that Diana Taverner, the current head of MI5, is worried, always watching her back because of the events of the previous book where she accepted private money for a security operation. Now the figures who were involved with that, including Mr. Sparrow, have something to hold over her, and she's having to watch her back for daggers all the time. Meanwhile, Slough House, the usual team are there, and they're joined by a new figure called Ashley Khan, who we get to know slightly throughout the book. And there's constant mention of an incident in Wimbledon recently, which the team was involved in. Now this had me scratching my head because I didn't remember that from a previous book, and I was wondering what they were all talking about. But the mystery is revealed partway through the book. There's a interlude between the two halves of the book where, for various reasons, Jackson Lamb has to sit down and have a talk with Diana Taverner, and the story of the Wimbledon incident comes out, and it's shown in full to us as what happened, the comedy of errors that occurred, and how it's connected to this Stephanie de Groot. And anyway, the Slough House team gets themselves involved in all sorts of things. There's a top Russian Secret Service agent has been arrived in London for some reason, and they keep an eye on him. And there's also been a house fire with a fatality, and we have to figure out how this is all connected. Now, the characters that you know and love from this series are all there on show, except for ones which aren't in this book for various reasons. I won't give any spoilers. But, you know, Shirley Dander, we start with her in a service sanatorium. We wonder why she's there. The Wimbledon story gives us the reasons for that. And of course, she's in the right place, right time when something happens there. Roddy Hose being his usual obnoxious self, and we see the other characters from Slough House basically using his ego against him. And yeah, they're all there, the characters you know and love. And you know, part of the joy of these books is just inhabiting that space with those characters, and the sniping, the wry comments, the witty comments, and the abuse that they give each other. Now, there's a couple of new things that Mick Herron's tried in this book. Like I said, the mention of the Wimbledon incident is a different way of storytelling than he usually uses. And there's also kind of like a tag team relay race type of way of explaining action as it happens. It's hard to describe really. It's just basically, and usually he would like write a whole chapter from one person's point of view and follow that through. But in this book, he's used a new technique where we follow one person's point of view, and then they see or mention another person, and suddenly we're from that point of view, and then they mention someone else, and we suddenly see it from their point of view. It's quite effective when the action's kicking off. It's I think it's a new technique for Herron. I don't remember him doing it before in the previous books, but it works really well. Keeps the pace up during certain events in the book. I don't really want to go much further into the plot because it will ruin the surprises and the joys of this book. Like I said, if you're a fan of this series, you know you'll need to read this. You'll know you'll want to read this. But also, if you just want to pick this book up and you haven't read any of the previous books, perhaps you're attracted by the recent Apple TV Plus TV series adaptation of the first book. If you come across this book, I think it's actually very self-contained. It doesn't have too many references to previous events, and those that are in reference are quite well explained. So if you just want a taste of the series as it is now, it's not too bad an example of the Slough House series. Of course, I would recommend that if you are interested in these books because of the TV series or reviews you've heard, go back start from the beginning is probably still the best advice. You just get to know these characters and their foibles and insecurities and the reasons why they are where they are, and they grow on you, and you enjoy spending time with these characters. It's the second book I've read recently where I would have just been happy to spend time with the characters on their day-to-day life as they make a cup of tea or snipe at each other in the office. It would be enjoyable even without the major events that happen in the book. Now, also John Batchelor from the Slough House novellas, which I reviewed recently, he actually has a small but quite important part to play in this book, and we see that his life hasn't really improved any since those shorter works of fiction. He's been used by everybody, and I just wonder where Herron's going to take the Batchelor character after this. He's probably going to end up with in a sticky end somewhere pretty soon. Yeah, so this is the second Slough House novel that Herron's put out within a year, so he must be constantly writing these. I'm just wondering if he's going to reach some type of burnout with this series. How far can he go? Yes, and he does employ another nasty trick in the text. He leads us to believe that the one or two characters aren't going to make it to the end of the book or aren't with us anymore, and then he turns around and pulls the rug out from under us. I think he's done it a couple of times before in the series, so I hope he doesn't keep doing that because it's not good for the old heart, I suppose. Yeah, so that is Bad Actors by Mick Herron. If you're a fan of the series, you'll want it. If you're not a fan of the series, it's not a too bad place to start. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being around these characters again. The writing is top notch. The wry comments, the witticisms, just the general prose, the description of things, description of London, the description of UK politics. He's got a very cynical view of things, but most of the politics in this book is very thinly disguised analogues of what actually has happened in the UK in the last few years. So take that as you will. So that's me for today. Thank you for viewing the video, and we'll see you next time.